Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper here with Loopmasters, and today I'm going to show you how to start making a live performance setup inside of Ableton Live using a pack from Niche Audio. So if you didn't know about Niche Audio, they make incredible packs, and the packs are set up into Ableton Live projects. You can see here I've got this one open. This is an Ableton Live project that I purchased from Loopmasters and downloaded, and it's Post Dubstep Future Garage project. And when I come inside of here, there's a projects folder, and then I have all of these projects. And these are essentially songs, okay? There are actually 13 different songs in here. And what's really cool is they're all the same genre, and they're all pretty much the same key for the most part. And what I found that's really cool you can do with these things is actually make a live set. So what I have here are three of the projects, the first three projects from the pack, inside of my Ableton Live set. Now, usually you just double click this and it's going to open up the project in its own set. But what I'm doing is taking these projects and combining them into one big set so I can play them live, like almost like a DJ mix, but with more control over the elements of the sounds, and actually it makes for a lot better mixes. So what I'm going to do is show you how I did this. It's actually very simple. You just come to whatever project you want, click and drag and drop, and it's going to go ahead and just load it right up next to the other ones. So it says group 16 here, and all I can do if I wanted to is just rename it and say distance. And then I've got that, and I can lock it down there. I can close the group, and now I have, a very compact view here where I can start triggering the parts of this track. And you can see here, let's look what happened. You can see that these first two scenes didn't show up, so all I need to do is just hold down Shift to select them all and drag them up, and there we go. That way, I have everything more organized. But what I want to show you beyond this is how I would go about starting to make my live set using these. So, we kind of need to know about how we're going to DJ with these things, or how we're going to want the songs to flow. So let's just pretend that I want this to be my first track, this to be my second track, this to be my third, and this to be the fourth, okay? They obviously don't need to be in that particular order. It's very easy to switch them up. If I wanted to drag it right here, just drag and drop, and now the order is changed. And also, I don't need to trigger them in order as well, because I can just come in and trigger however I'm doing it. Now I'm just using my mouse inside of this project, so forgive me if some of my timing's off. So another thing we want to think about too before I actually jump in is the length of time from when I hit a scene or a clip to when it's actually going to trigger. So I've got set to a bar. Yeah, you might want 4 bars if you're going to be tweaking a lot of effects or something, or if you don't have, enough controllers to have everything mapped so you can do things quickly. But let's just go through and listen to what we have here. So I'm going to check out Aerosphere first. Okay, so that's the gist of the track. Now let's check out Circulate and see what that sounds like. And what I'm really concerned about with at this point is what this last scene sounds like with this first scene. So if I actually fold this over, we can see that I've got a swell bass, and this is it. So if I trigger this one and this one at the same time, let's see how they sound together. So that's actually too much going on right there. So I want to think about how it might be best to make a DJ style edit of these tracks so I can make the transition sound better and actually perform easier for me during my set. So what I'm going to do is actually just go ahead and pull down this right here, and I can come into the drums here, and I'm actually going to get rid of these. So I'm just going to get this part right here. If I go ahead and play that. Okay, and I'm also going to pull down this part. And you want to be holding down Control and pulling down so you don't make an empty space like I did before. So if you hold down Control, click and drag, you're actually just going to duplicate it, and that makes things a lot easier. Okay, so now I've got these two. Let's see how those sound together with this first scene of Circulate. So I don't really like that. Now, we can go a couple of different ways here. I can just come in to Circulate and just to trigger the drums here. Or what I can do is actually, again, holding Shift, collect and select all and drag down, and then actually take this and again, Control, click and drag up and get rid of like this core drum because I think that's clashing with the bass from here. So for this, there's no core drum. Let's see what this sounds like. Great, and let's take this one and again, Control, click and drag. So then I'm gonna get rid of these drums and I'm gonna have just this. And when this part happens, I can have these two come in. So you get the idea here. And, you know, maybe we want to bring this pad down here too. Click and drag. Oh, Control, click and drag. I forgot. But, you know, something like this is going to now sound pretty good. So what I'm going to do is attempt to mix these two together right now. And I want to see how easy it is, you know, with what I have to control. And again, I'm just using my mouse, so it's going to be difficult no matter what. But I want to see if I can make this transition happen naturally, smoothly, and make it sound good. I've got some delay on the return B or on send B and some reverb on the send A. So I might use those, but again, because I'm only using my mouse, it's a little bit difficult to get there and then go over here in one bar. So, you know, I could change that to 2 bars or 4 bars or something, and, you know, I might do that. But it's just, you know, it's all about practice, right? It's just like any other instrument to get it right. So I'm going to go ahead and just trigger this right here. So let's go ahead and this stop button just clears everything. And let's just go ahead and run it from here. Okay, so that's a much better transition. And, you know, like I said before, we can either try to make each one of these scenes do exactly what we want it to, or we can come in and trigger one of these patterns from one of the other songs, you know, one at a time to make things a little bit more interesting. And so we don't get too bored if we're doing this actually for a live performance. So let's just go ahead and do one more here. I know this is pretty much the gist of what we're trying to do, but I figure we'll do one more before I wrap up this video. So let's just come down here, and again, Another trick is if you select all of these and then shorten them, those shorten together. So I don't really need to see the names of these at all. They're not very descriptive, or they're not going to help me while I'm making this track, so I could do it like this. That way I can see everything. So let's just come in and trigger this last scene and this first scene to see what they sound like together. So they actually already sound pretty good. What I might do here is try to get rid of that bass line for that first part. You can see that another bass line's coming. So what I actually might do is bring this up like this and come in here, and let's find the bass inside of here. So we've got bass here. Get rid of this. And we can come down here. This actually might be a little bit better. Okay, so and I want to get rid of this pad, I think. Yeah, this pad's a little bit too bassy for me. So now I think if I trigger this last scene and then we flow into this, we should be all right. In fact, let's just get rid of that bass just for fun. So let's just go ahead and run it from this scene right here. So boom, there we go. So now already, without having to do anything too crazy, I have 3-track live performance ready to go in this genre. Now, some other things that are really, really cool about doing it like this with niche audio packs is I can come in and change anything now. If I didn't like this swell bass, for example, I can drop my favorite VSTi on there and get my own patch going. And you can see that there's MIDI for this synth and for these tines as well. You know, I can come in and change the drum patterns. Really, I have full customizability before I actually perform with this thing to make it better or make it my own. Now, another really cool thing about this too is I'm using this Post Dubstep pack, but look at all these different types of packs. I mean, there's hip hop, there's peak house, there's techno, there's drum and bass, there's trap. There's even reggae and dub. There's just so many different genres. So if you want to try your hand out at making a live set but don't have enough material right now, I highly suggest checking out niche audio packs on Loopmasters because it just pushes you forward quickly and you get really great results, and it's really good for inspiration and to keep you coming back for more. And before you know it, you're going to have a full hour. You can go out and perform with this thing and people are going to love it. Because again, it just makes your mixes top notch, especially if you put the time and effort in to make the mix between the two just work well. So anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope that it's going to help you guys to start making your own live performances inside of Ableton Live. And I will see you next time.